to make it to inside clip number 2. So just a couple of little tweaks that we've made since first building this track map. But you can see inside clip 1 flows to outside zone 1, outside zone 2. From outside zone 2, driver style essentially, but we're looking at 40 points for line. His very first practice run looked like a top qualifying run.
Well, let's see if he can mirror that here as he comes out of the chicane. Big long run up here. That's one of the things that is a distinguishing factor here at this track. Little one move initiation, nice angle there, wrapping through that first inside clip, shooting out to that outside zone. Good throttle control here. You can see the smoothness. This has been one of the things that a lot of his driving has been predicated on, is very smooth, but attacking in those tandem battles. But here today in qualifying, filling that third and final outside zone, a big long one there, Ryan. And you can see just right there. And there it is, Ryan, line angle style. At the line here, ready to go, and 82 is the marker here. Always takes a couple runs, I think, to establish where the field is overall on the point scoreboard for you guys as the judges. Big initiation there from Brudski, hitting that inside clip. Quickly back on throttle before that first inside clip, which I believe is going to definitely put him in a good position, relatively speaking. You guys really want to see those guys focusing on throttle control through that first inside clip. And as he wraps through this final outside zone, both wheels towards the edge of the course, filling that zone almost completely there. Thorne, and there it is, an 82 puts him into second place, and you can see right there the style score making a little bit of a difference.
Tire drop in outside zone number 2. You can see the puff of dirt there come up. He was so far off of inside clip 2, so it seems like the benefits weren't really there.
All right, Bogovic, Evan, big long e-brake pull. Oh, misses that inside clip, but now trying to get that positioning to that first outside zone, wrapping around to the second, trying to find that throttle control, that fluidity. Coming into that inside clip, going a little bit wide. Here's the final outside zone. Driver's trying to get settled here. He enters at the beginning of the zone. He's going to fall out, and clearly leaving some points on the line there for line. Ryan, you definitely docked off 15 points there. We see 4 points from
40, so it's going to make a big impact.
All right, 4th in points right now. Alex Jaeger making his way onto the course for the very first time. Nice little initiation there, kind of a two-parter. The most that you can do, a two-part initiation. Getting that outside zone pretty well. Good throttle control through the middle section of the course. Pointing the car just on the outside of that inside clip. How is it going to set him up here for this final outside zone? Looks like he's getting fluidly into that section of the course and does stick pretty much both wheels, maybe 3/4 of the way through that outside zone that they're using, et cetera, et cetera. And the judge is liking this one. Alex Jaeger trying to beat that new marker of an 84. As Alex Jaeger leading the way, our #1 qualifier. Let's see what Derek Madison can do. Coming down that front straight, kind of a straight line approach. Slow roll initiation, very little use of e-brake. Flows a little bit past that first inside clip and leaves that second a little bit early as well on that outside zone. Uh-oh, getting tight on that inside clip, almost center punches it. Definitely a mistake on that section of the course, and leaving a little bit to be desired here on that final section as well. Proportionally speaking, dropping 13 points overall, and you can see your winner from FD Orlando, a #1 qualifier as well as the win. Trying to build back up here, still in the chase for that championship, the FCP Euro Championship $10,000 prize. Nice initiation there. Comes a little bit unstuck on the front end, trying to find that grounding as he gets into that second outside zone. Great throttle control here. Really nicely executed on that inside clip. That front bumper so low to the ground really gives a great styling to the vehicle, makes it look super smooth for Andy Haley, but getting the bigger style number puts him into first place, so great job by him.
Definitely for the flow. We wanted it to be a more natural racing line kind of track. You know, we didn't want to force people out to outside zones where it was natural.
All right, Tommy Lemaire making his presence known, felt these past couple years in PROSPEC. Be it big e-brake pull on initiation, swinging out wide to that first outside zone, keeping that throttle control pretty consistent. Left foot braking through that section of the course, but hitting that inside clip. Drivers pretty much nowadays are able to use all the tools at their disposal, whether it's left foot braking, handbrake, as long as it looks clean And he did get some deductions, Ryan, on that, on the style score and angle. Nate Chen, as he's known here, familiar in the paddock, up for his first run here as he makes his way through the chicane. Let's take a look at this initiation on approach. Little counterbalance there, getting right into a big long e-brake pull. Getting on throttle at that inside clip, but maybe slowing down the momentum a bit too much. I know the judges really like to see that flow, connecting the speeds appropriately from initiation to that first inside clip. Nice little snappy transition back around. Two big transitions on this course that Brian Eggert, the style judge, has to look for. Angle, the biggest deduction of them all, relatively speaking, 9-point deduction. All right, we've got the clear descent here for Ben Hobson as he heads out. Underway through the chicane. Hobson grabbing some gears there, coming down that long front straight. Nice little snap, quick, right to angle there, gets back on throttle, trying to make that adjustment. Trying to maximize those style points, but stays off that first outside zone. Oh, a little bit of adjustment with the front end there. He is able, from a line perspective, to get to that first outside, or that second inside clip, but nowhere to be found on this final outside zone. So driving fast and quick through the course, and I'll give him a 74. So respectable run there for him. Hopefully that'll be. As we are about to go green for him, coming down that front straight. Nice little slow roll initiation, e-brake into that first inside corner. Getting that inside clip and that outside zone. Wrapping back around to the second outside zone, aiming towards this inside clip. Looks like he's coming right up against it there. Line looking solid here. Pretty smooth transition to that final section. Gets into it a little bit late and right at the edge. So even with those deductions overall, an 86, that will put him into. Rich Whiteman in that Freedom Motorsport Toyota JZX 100 is underway. You hear that thing screaming down that front straight. Big angle there, floating out a bit wide on that first inside clip. It pushes him to that outside zone as he moves into this second inside clip here. Big angle right at the edge of that box, that newly painted box. Good transition back around. Throttle control looking pretty solid here, but the line just at the edge there, now starting to move back. And Ryan, I'd love to know how you approach moving into fifth position overall. So looks like some of these top 10 the Elite Roofing Nissan S14 car 555 underway. Straight line approach here, gets that little snap, starts to get back on throttle well before that inside clip. Just get to the edge of it there. On that first outside zone, looks like he fills it pretty well, adjusting to this second part of the course. It's big rotation there. Has to pull angle out of the car, falls off of the line. And you could see that mistake starting to build up before that inside clip as he was putting angle in the car.
Ran up on that rumble strip, would be unchaseable from a chase driver perspective.
Think about that is this is a qualifying run. This is also a lead run. So if you could imagine a chase driver behind that, would they be able to compete with that type of mistake? And you guys just say no. All right, here we go. Moving on to Blake Olson here as he heads on out. Gets a start here, run number 1. Super loud from where we are. We're probably 1,000 feet away. And you can hear that thing purring as he makes his way through that second inside clip. Final transition here, good throttle control. Just moving outside that final outside zone for maybe the last 50%. That puts him in the top 10. Pretty sizable deduction for you, Ryan. BMW M3. Here we go, through the chicane. Big long run up. It feels longer in time than Road Atlanta, but it's more flat. And as you can see, managing that first inside clip, goes a little bit wide, gets up on the rumble strips on that first outside zone, trying to manage speed here, get to that right section of the course, midline through that inside clip. Pretty good job there. Great angle, nice throttle control through this final section. Can he stick to that line? He's in the deepest part of the zone. Oh, he comes off a bit early there. And so we've seen Hoy Talaska, so we are seeing the continued trend of the. We'll now move on to, I believe, our next driver is going to be Austin Mata. Matthew Bystrak, the Gas Factory Nissan S13. Our next driver up, and here we go. A little bit of a stepped initiation as he gets to that first outside zone, letting it float out to the second. Looks like he pulls off a little bit early, having a bit of trouble there, trying to find that smoothness and consistency, but now getting back in the fight here, a little bit of angle pulled out of the vehicle, and we are seeing these more and more drivers kind of struggle with the grip factor there. Logs his score in, that'll put him in 13th position, and you can see this is going to be Austin Mata in the Don't Mata Racing Nissan S14. Making good pace here through qualifying. Let's see Austin Mata. He's had some really high points this season. Pretty good initiation, big long e-brake pull. Ryan, I want to hear more about how you guys view that kind of technique. Getting to that second outside zone, making his way to this second inside clip. Pretty good job there on the line, it looks like overall. Getting out towards the edge of the track as he transitions to that final section. And that looks like a pretty well executed
tire drop occurred in what would be considered the last sector, because it was almost a perfect score, or a perfect score he would have had through outside zone 3. He had a couple points deducted because of that tire drop.
Car 31, Rye O'Connor in the Ignited Soul Nissan 350Z. His first run away, staying towards that outer part of the initiation run, getting that inside clip. Looking pretty smooth here overall. Trying to make his presence known here in PROSPEC. Having trouble. Another driver having trouble with that second outside zone to the inside clip, and now driving a bit frantically here, trying to get some points back on the board, and I'm quickly seeing some heads turn to each other. Local boy coming from Pocatello, Idaho, as he is now clear to send, as we are ready to go to the first run of Rudy Hansen. He gets the approval there from Matt Sopa, our starter. Taking that midline approach, moving over to the outer edge of the course, getting that initiation well before that last standing cone, coming with a lot of momentum through that first inside clip, using that throttle to control the speed through this section that's been challenging for a lot of drivers, trying to stay just at the edge of the course there, but he does drop a tire, big smoke cloud pushing out towards the fans, and then a second tire drop there on that outside zone with oil drops. And there's Rudy Hansen's score of 75. That's going to keep him just outside the top 10. In the Shinchoku Factory 83 Nissan S13.4. First run of the morning for him. Beautiful morning here in Utah. Very little weather as he has a big adjustment there, Zach, in that first inside clip, driving off course there in outside zone number 1. Trying to find the setting here. First time for a lot of these drivers out, is now into that final outside zone, reaches those 2 rear wheels for a second and then falling out to the edge, putting him in 15th place. Hoping that will hold. Older brother in the Pro Championship. He will be heading out on the track later today. They've got some experience on this track, Ryan. Let's see how Amanda handles this. Nice little flick there, starting off, coming in a little bit tight, losing some momentum on that inside clip, getting back on the throttle, rocketing out of that first outside zone. Now wrapping through that inside clip very smoothly. This section of the course lining up pretty well for her. She locks into that outside line and pretty much pipes it all the way through, just a little tight. Another run in the books and an 83, a great score for her. She comes in at start line. Having a strong season, both females in the championship. She will make her first run known here to the judges. Nice little initiation, a tiny bit of stepping there, but getting back on the throttle a bit late past that inside clip. Judges really want to see you flow with that momentum, get that throttle back on at least by that first inside clip. Second part of the run starting to come together here as she visits that last outside zone right at the edge. Falling off a little bit there, but climbing back. Look at the score here from Kelsey Rawlings, a 73, putting her about mid-pack. Or is that Hoffman? Yeah, that's Hoffman. Ricky Hoffman, our next driver up, the Wire Care Coreworks Nissan S14.9. Out there on the course, Nice little flick, e-brake pull, a little bit longer I think than you'd like to see, Ryan, but as he gets to that first outside zone, looking pretty good so far. Little bit of adjustment with the front wheels there, angles up the vehicle, and you could see that starting to build as he was pulling some angle out of the car, having to make that adjustment. It's a great save overall from him, but 65, so that's gonna put him in position 18 with 12 drivers left to go. All right, well, next driver up, this is Dustin Miles, Miles of Style Racing, Nissan S13. Nice little jump there, early initiation, floats it towards that inside clip. And we'll see what the judges think about that, but very aggressive driving, maybe a bit too aggressive. He gets towards the edge of that course, having trouble there with that second outside zone. Seeing some curious looks from the judges here. It's the first time we've seen somebody push a bit too wide there on, and it looks like he is gonna be out altogether, is what I'm hearing over the radio. So unfortunately for him, that will bring us down to 34 drivers. That will adjust the bottom 8 quite a bit. But let's focus our attention here on Trenton Kropf as he goes for his first run of the afternoon. Taking that slow approach out of the chicane, now starting to build some speed into that initiation. Flowing over to that far side of the track, starting to get back on throttle, but stays tight there on that inside clip, actually hits it quite a bit. Trying to find some grounding here and some consistency for the judges to look at. Pretty good job on that inside clip, though it was from a tighter side. And this last outside zone, unfortunately, he's way on the inside. Steve puts him in 20th position. And you can see where those deductions took place. They will do their practice and qualifying session to finish up our day here Thursday. But let's check out Hooman Rahimi. I am only Hooman, Nissan 370Z, first run. Nice little initiation there, but way overshooting that first outside zone, excuse me, that first inside clip and pushing to that outside zone. So still trying to get it dialed in here, and I think we're flirting with an incomplete a little bit. After that inside clip, he may be able to tie this off without an incomplete transpiring, but certainly Chasers Racing Drift Corvette has had an eventful season. It started in Orlando, dealing with a lot of weather and conditions, but it's beautiful out here. Big overshoot of that first inside clip. Second driver to do it. Trying to find the connection with the track, the car, the tires, everything that's required here in qualifying. And unfortunately, you can really hear the car struggling. Take a quick commercial break here as we...
So that is what we're looking for. Smooth, accurate, and just putting those transitions down in a confident manner and placing the car where it needs to be placed.
All right, well, let's see what Alex Leclatter can do here in that non-stop tuning. Toyota GT86 in a decent start here. Uh-oh, front end washing out. Big mistake there towards outside zone 2. And again, you can hear the car just really not sounding like it's piping right at the rev limiter. A bit too much grip dialed in. Adam Knapik in that Donut Media Optima battery Nissan S14. Coming out close to where I live in Costa Mesa. His first run of the afternoon. Getting a good look at it here. Nice little snap, e-brake pull back on throttle way early, just at the edge of that first inside clip, going a little bit long on that outside zone. Now struggling, going off course. Big rooster tail of dirt as he hits that inside clip. Looking much more settled here, but using very wide parameters on the course as he gets to this final outside zone. Sticks it there. For Adam Knapik, that puts him in 18th position. Triple-digit speeds on initiation from a lot of these drivers, and we still have the Pro Series yet to come. Very fast technical course. First time for a lot of drivers. 86 leads the way. Casey Cole, a little bit of understeer, front end, losing some grip coming through that inside clip. Starting to kind of dial it in here. Looking much better in this section of the course. Smooth through that second inside clip, moving to the outside zone, number 3 in the final one. A lot of angle there, trying to hold it, but he's going to pull off that zone. Choosing the score, 75 for Javi Martinez. That is the official score. Well, these last 2 drivers have basically seen as much as they could possibly see from the other competitors. They know what they need to do. Gets that nice big angled initiation, has to pull a little bit angle out of it. He does get back on throttle, but unfortunately drives almost straight there from outside zone 1 to 2 in between. Gets to that inside clip. Seems like he's having much more stability here in this latter section of the course. Final turn doesn't fill that outside. So the bottom 8 plus the Jack Davis, our last driver up. Final opportunity here, one and only opportunity to make it into the top 24. Let's see what he can do here. Nice little initiation, trying to get settled, but goes way wide on that first inside clip. We've seen that from quite a few drivers, mismanaging speed coming in that section. Oh, he's slowing it down. Uh-oh, getting really, really close to an unchaseable lead there. Oh, drive straight again. You know, I'm no judge, but I've seen enough to know safe from being eliminated, which is the most important part of competition so far.
All right.
Madison, green light, here he goes. Competition points this weekend, the same as they always are. Fighting for those really, really, really close distances between first and second place. But and Madison comes unstuck there. So on run number 1, apply it here, get a score on the board. Got a lot of really interested spotters looking on hand here. Big pressure situation. This is the season. First time this is the season for one of the drivers. Don't get a score here, season is over. Brian Wadman hits that first inside clip, gets to the outside zone. You gotta imagine what it's like in the cockpit of that car right here as he gets to this section of the course. He should be safe here. Most drivers seem to make it through this section without an incomplete. 3, 2, 1, score done. For the bottom 8, so he'll surpass Derek Madison and Ryan O'Connor from break. This is the bottom 8 part of competition. These drivers are trying to make it into tomorrow's competition because the remainder of these drivers all have incompletes. Here we go, Ryan O'Connor, big pressure situation here. Gets into that initiation. So far keeping it together through that first inside clip. Hits that outside zone, transitioning around to outside zone 2. Circling back towards us, goes on the inside of that inside clip. That's gonna be off course. It's off course from the inside. That is gonna be all she wrote there for Rye O'Connor on his run. Madison also has a score. He's sitting on a 59. We're looking for our next score to drop in as the light is ready to be, or the sign to go is being given here. And we are here in the clear to send. Miles, his last run of qualifying. What can he do here? Looking pretty good so far. Looking comfortable on that initiation, but floating it out. Wait, oh no! And the front end completely washes out. Another incomplete. Another qualifying coming to an end, and also a season for Dustin Miles. Very unfortunate there.
Is that another case of the announcer's curse, Ryan? What do you think?
So I shouldn't say people are doing good. Oh man. Drivers, and we are seeing that with some of these incompletes, not only are drivers going out of competition and done for the year, we're seeing some open spots in those number 1, 2, and 3 qualifying competitors. First time all year we've had maxing out at 37 drivers, but some of the things that transpired put us in a really interesting situation as we focus our attention back here on course to Houman Rahimi. Uh-oh, floating it out, losing a little bit of momentum. He's in a tough position too. I think smartly takes that inside line to keep angling. And there it is, a 52 5-2 for Human Rahimi. This is Richard Advani. Taking that position down that long front straight through the chicane. Trying to get settled here after initiation. Gets to that inside clip, but a little bit wide. There's the first outside zone. There's outside zone number 2. Here's the inside clip number 2. So far, so good for Richard Advani. The final transition. And he lives to fight another. A good run, well appreciated by the judges. 25th position, he's locked. It's a yes or no answer. Can he do it? Can he stay in competition? Move on into tomorrow, into the finals, to the final event of the year? Or is this the last run of the year for him? A lot of pressure on these drivers with incompletes. Looks like he's going the conservative route, the smart route. Don't get overly dramatic, don't get overly dynamic. Make it through the run. Stay in drift, don't go off course, no big mistakes. Which is 26th, I believe, or 27th. But by the end of today, we will know our top into competition, or is this gonna be it for him? Jack Davis, our last driver to leave the line in FCP Euro, knockout qualifying. Nice little snap there, e-brake pull, starts to get back on throttle well before that inside clip. Looks like he's also playing that conservative, get it done job. Starts to pull a little bit of angle out of the car, get a little bit hairy there for a second. Uh-oh. That transition got real shallow on the angle, but it looks like, again, another driver. Interesting to watch both practice and qualifying as drivers have gotten used to this course. We've now seen our top 32 bracket unofficial. Casey Cole, number 1. Tommy Miller coming in at 4, Haley at 2, Yeager at 3.